Yo, 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 yo! We're back at it. Today, I'm gonna bring you a little 24 Academy Pug that I did the other day with a full random group. I didn't know anybody from this group. I will bring to you some tips and thoughts, some tricks maybe perhaps, that I will explain to you during the video. But other than that, it's just gonna be some music, some owning, some gameplay, you know, the good stuff. As you can see there from the start of the video already, I decided to go for the Versa buff, even though, you know, Versa might not be the best stat for when it comes to pure damage, but, you know, Versa, it also gives you this damage reduction second effect, so it can be really helpful in high keys to go with Versa instead of the usual mastery big damage stat there. We're just heading straight into this with a big pull here. As you can see, the affixes are explosive, fortified, bursting, and you know, when it's explosive, you can really help your healer out with smacking these explosives, as you can see me doing. Just right click, boom bang, right click, boom bang, sending all the cooldowns here on the first pull, of course, naturally. Obviously I have to have to fix my DPS meter. Can't play without the DPS meter on, not possible. As you know, if you're a DPS player, not really possible to play without the DPS meter on, naturally. Nothing too crazy here, just going into this pull, pressing some damage. But yeah, as I was talking about earlier with explosives, I can add on top of that. When you're playing rogue, you can just a little tip is you can just right click explosives. Like your auto attack hits do like kind of crazy damage, and you have slice and dice, you're attacking really fast anyway, so as soon as you like right click an explosive, it kind of dies like that. Boom, explosive dead. Oh, what the? Okay, double surge going through on my guy there, not ideal. Could have been prevented somehow, probably, most likely. Not a big deal, we advance. Nothing really happening outside of my guy dying. No big deal. I pressed cloak. I live. Unlucky. Just owning this pack, cleaning it up. As you can see, I was speculating what really happened to him there, but it does seem like it was a double surge indeed. Just going into this pack before the boss event spawn is happening. The boss takes some time to spawn after you clear all of the mobs in the boss room, so you can save some time by going instantly to this pack instead and doing this while you wait for the boss to spawn. Something to look for on this pack and some other packs as well in this dungeon is something called priority damage. Like you really wanna burst down the big mob. In this pack it's the Ravager, like as fast as you can. It's a really big time save if you can kill this guy before you kill all the small mobs. Like especially when you have classes like Sub Rogue and Enhancement Shaman that benefits from having multiple targets alive. Like you gain combo points, you do more damage to your prior target, whatnot, right? Like I see myself pressing some black powders here. I could have pressed more eviscerates, but you know, in hindsight is 2020, as they say. Hindsight is 2020. But yeah, you should definitely try to not AoE as much as you can on these packs where the secondary mobs, so to speak, aren't as dangerous. So you can let your priority damage classes shine and like really funnel damage onto the big mob. I think I was checking. Yeah, I was checking here. I was checking what the Shadow Priest is doing, but it was just yeah, it was doing fine. But it's just if you can, you should really let your classes that benefit from having multiple targets up do the funneling on these guys. It's a little tip to save a lot of time in M+ generally. It's a little easy concept, but maybe not everyone knows that you can do it. Like it's I think the classes that benefit the most from secondary targets, I mean, it's definitely Enhancement Shaman. Like Enhancement Shaman is crazy when it comes to like funneling damage onto main targets. Heading onto Vexamus here, of course. As you can see, we're just smacking the boss here a little bit.
Spread.
There's a little dangerous overlap on this fight that happens when you get mana bombs into the Arcane Fissure, which you really wanna watch out for and like hold your cloak for, and immune. Oh, as you can see here, just let me just skip holding the cooldowns here for Thundering. It's a really cool lineup. Thundering always happens like every 1 minute while you're in combat. So what you can do is, if you have like a good natural lineup for thundering, you can hold your stuff a little bit and just wait for the thundering, and you just pop it all with thundering. I wouldn't say we're always holding for it, but if it lines up good, you can hold it a few seconds, because the thundering buff is 30% damage. It's like really crazy. It's really good to hold stuff for it. You can get some crazy damage there for free. We all love damage, don't we? We all love damage. Mana bombs coming out, no overlap, nothing too spicy here. Just owning. Oh my god, I say nothing too spicy as I almost die, of course. Still soaking. I was feeling confident in myself. Confidence is key. Ooh.
Spread.
This mana bomb I decided to cloak, because this is the overlap I was talking about with the mana bomb into Arcane Fissure. So I just press my Cloak of Shadows there,
5,
and we're chilling.
4, 3.
Poor guy chasing me. Deciding to go for a little invis skip on this pack. It's quite a hard pack on a high fortified key, so it is definitely respectable skipping this pack. I think the tank has been here before, so to speak. He knows what's up. He knows what's dangerous. Utility of Rogue. Shroud. Another Ravager mob here. Big HP mob. I could have used my pot here a little bit earlier, I think. I don't know why I didn't decide to pot here instantly. I was probably just checking what's happening with the tank. I don't know.
Spread.
Slight misplay on my behalf. Should have potted earlier. No biggie though. I decided to pot there, as you can see. I mean, I did get the pot with thundering though, so maybe it was worth. Never mind. It got cleared. Such. Also, something to note on this Ravager mob is the charge thing does the ambush. I think it always goes on the furthest away target, so if your group is struggling, you can technically like go outside and you can bait the ambush on you, and you can press vanish, and then the mob basically doesn't do anything. He just stands there and looks for fun. It's a little cheeky trick, but I mean, has some uses, I guess. Maybe not like the most normal thing to do, but you can do it. Also, you can tell your fellow group members, especially ranged, I guess, to stand a little bit closer to not bait him too far outside. It's a neat little helpful DPS gain. Because if the mob gets baited like super far out, it can be quite a DPS loss.
Spread.
On this guy, you can see I decided to cloak the first AoE. I think it was just for uptime, a little bit of a DPS gain there because I popped my stuff. Didn't want to waste any uptime. I think here I decided to line of sight it though. Yeah. If the key was a little bit lower, like a 20 or so, you could also just, if the tank lets you, you can kind of hug the wall and just press feint and tank it. That's completely fine as well, because there's no other damage really happening on this guy, so if you just live the first initial hit, you'll get passively healed up kinda. Like, it's completely fine tanking this. But I wasn't sure if I would live it on a 24, so I decided to not try that. Didn't feel as brave. Tank doing some crazy Neo from Matrix shenanigans here. Look at this. Dancing back and forth to avoid avoid getting... What is the tank mechanic called? Storm Slash? I think he's doing it to avoid getting Storm Slashed. He probably didn't have any like defensives or anything for it. And he can quite hurt on a 24, I think, fortified. Little bit of a juking action here. Going on to the eagles. Nothing too crazy here. Killing some eagles. Oh, now the big alpha daddy eagle comes. Here's where you can use the funnel principle we talked earlier. You see me pressing eviscerate here instead of black powder, for example. Using the funnel, the principle of funnel. Even though you see it's 5 targets, or 6 maybe it's even here. You decide to press eviscerate over black powder just because it lets you keep the small adds alive for longer, and it also does more priority damage. So it's like a double. If you don't kill the smallest, but you kill the big guy, so the smallest live longer, and you kill the big guy faster. Boom bang. I think I think I thought the smallest died too fast. But you can't expect too much when you're pugging either. You can't expect like everyone to play around funneling and stuff. Like people just play and have fun. Don't wanna set too high expectations. Just popping on the eagles here with thundering. Oh, you can see the big eviscerates here. Boom, boom, boom. With the puzzle box eviscerates. One thing with these eagles is if you're on a different altitude level, or you know, if the tank is tanking them like on the stairs or so, their frontal mechanic can look quite fishy. It's something that I've noticed that has happened a lot in pugs, where the tank for some reason is tanking these mobs like on the stairs, so the elevation level is a bit sus, and then the frontal it kind of like goes through the ground. So there's just something you can avoid if you remember. I'll help you out before it happens to you. I decided to use everything here on pull. Send the pot and everything. I think I used the pot instantly on pull because my reasoning here is that I should get it back for the tree pull. Sorry, the big pull at the tree boss, which we will be heading to after this boss. And since pot is on a 5-minute cooldown, you kind of want to pop it here a little bit early so you have it back. Otherwise, you might not get it. Otherwise, like if you're already killed the tree boss, depending on your route, you can also just save the pot for like the damage increase here if you wanna. Depends on what your group does, right? You can optimize around your group, but I think we decide to press well, drums here, I suppose, on the damage increased here with the fire goal. All up to you.
Spread.
I think I decided to hold my grief torch for it though. The big grief torch. If you're really lucky, you can get a good thundering lineup here with the goal as well. I think we popped the drums here, and we did get an okay thundering lineup here by the seams of it. Could have been a little bit better. It's a little bit short, but I got the grief torch. As you can see, my grief torch is critting for 170k or something. That is crazy. The grief torch crits there. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Like absolutely bonkers. As you can see, my My damage just flew up there. A little tip on this boss is, as a rogue, you can always press feint on the screeches to help your, well, either to help your healer out or just to live basically. Like on a high enough key, it can definitely one-shot you when you have more than like 2 or 3 stacks. As you can see, I got the second stack there and I dropped to 40%. So yeah, really make sure to press feint there if you feel like you might die. It's very OP ability on this boss. I think I decided to hold my cooldowns here for the triple, of course. My puzzle box and whatnot. Let's see if pot will be ready. I'm not sure. Get a little haste buff here from the wind goal. That's pretty nice. When you get this buff, after you activate the wind goal, you don't get pushed by the winds. And you get some haste, of course. Heading towards what most people would say the most exciting part of this dungeon. Why most people enter Academy to begin with, honestly. Myself included. It's a very fun part of the dungeon. Let's see what they do here. I think we're just gonna Shroud to open up from a better starting position here. I think my Demon Hunter wasn't on his mount, so I'm looking at him, staring at him, giving him a chance to catch up. Nice guy that I am. Explosive weak as it is, this pull can be quite messy if you don't deal with the explosives properly. I think I'm gonna decide to help the healer out here as well, of course. Actually, I say of course, but we'll see what I do. Little shadow step there, a lot of explosive spawning. Yeah. A little thing you should do here always is always keep Rupture on the big mobs, the Lashers, and potentially even the Skitterflies. But the Lashers here, they have a lot of HP, so even though you might get tempted to just press Black Powders to kill all the small mobs, you just make sure that you at least have Rupture on your main targets, or the prior targets rather, because those are the guys that will live forever. Shadow Priest really doing some damage here as well. The Shadow Priest buffs were too crazy, guys. Too crazy. Don't tell anyone though. A new mob entered the building. We switch our focus to the new mob, of course. Someone even put a skull marker on it. Very impressive. I usually don't see all of these like root and mind games and stuff on my enemies' nameplates, but it's from a PvP add-on that I'm using that I forgot to turn off. It's like big debuffs or something. I usually don't have this on. You might think it looks a little bit weird, but yeah. It is helpful sometimes. I just haven't configured it properly for dungeons, since I only used it in PvP ever. popping all the cooldowns on the boss here, you might feel tempted to hold all your cooldowns for the first add wave that's spawning. However, since the boss activates the adds at max energy, and he starts off the fight with no energy, these adds will not be activated, so you have a long time to kill his adds. So you can apply the funnel principle here as well and just press eviscerates instead of powdering and stuff. Just really get that priority damage going. Just focus on the boss instead of the adds here. The energy thing which I mentioned is basically, so if you wanna get a long story short, well, it's not really a long story, but you know, a story short rather, is that now you can see the boss has 100 energy. He does his burst force mechanic and the adds spawn and they start hitting the tank. So this is the add waves where you really want to AoE instead of priority damage, because they can really own your tank if you don't own them fast. Like they get this poison thing stacking on your tank, right? So you really want to kill them fast, play it safe. Boom. Nothing happened, no incidents. We just keep on owning.
Spread.
Another add wave here where they will not get activated. You could technically get some more funnel going, but I think we might have decided to just kill them because wasn't sure how much AoE we have or something. But if your group really optimizes around it, you can get some good funnel going on this boss as well.
5, 4.
Killing the branch here, like you really want to prior the branch here as well. It's like another priority target, because if you get the branch thing where you clear your debuff from the boss overlapping with this one, the germinate, it can really cause some awkward situations where your entire group is like trying to clear, but then they're getting hit by the burst forth happening, you know. It can be a little bit awkward, so just always make sure you kill the tree in time. Alternatively, if you have an evoker healer, he can cleanse your entire group's bleeds and you can delay killing the tree for some more damage on the boss. But that's kind of an evoker like thing, where you just don't use the tree to clear and you keep the tree alive for a bit. It's an evoker thing. Not sure what I'm doing right now. Oh, we get to the Echo Knights, the knights of my guild, the owners. They have the best name, of course. Just getting in here, getting the thundering, pressing some powders. Something to keep in mind with the mob called Spectral Invoker is this
5,
Arcane Missiles mechanic
4,
that is casting.
3.
It always goes on the target closest to the Invoker. Oh, and let's get back to that later. The Demon Hunter just died to the world here, which is another deadly mechanic, especially for melee. You really want to watch out for that. Like, it can really just catch you off guard, as it did with the Demon Hunter there. You can like try to always like max melee range, or like try to. I mean, as a rogue, you have it easier than for Demon Hunters, because you can always stand quite far with acrobatic strikes and Phantom Knives, black powdering and stuff. So you're always kind of safe as a rogue. But our poor fellow Demon Hunter friend wasn't so lucky to have the bonus range. As you can see, they are just press a AoE War Stomp to stop the world as well. You can AoE stun them, you can stun them, knock them up, whatnot, to stop the worlds, make it easier. Little cheeky distract on the path, because wasn't sure if the tank wanted him in, I think. Oh, channeling the puzzle box on the tank. Ah, yeah, that was unfortunate. I think I decided to stop my puzzle box cast there because I saw I was on top of the tank and I didn't want to clear. But it that was unfortunate. We keep moving forward though. As you can see here, both missiles hitting the tank. Actually, I don't know what the DH tried to. I think the missiles were on the tank. Maybe they weren't. Maybe I was wrong. Another cheeky trick here, as you can see the druid doing right there, is he's walking on top of the mobs with the arcane bomb mechanic. Not everyone knows about this. If you get the... Oh, missiles on me here, a little dangerous. But yeah, if you get the bomb, you can actually go on top of the mobs and it does damage to the mobs as well. It's a little neat trick. Basically the mobs just do friendly fire damage with the bomb. So you don't wanna like run away far. You can do a little cheeky explosion on the actual mobs themselves instead of just running away from your teammate with it. Extra damage. We all love extra damage, don't we? last pull before the boss here. It looks like we need 10% count. Yeah, I think this is the last pull before we enter the last boss room. Oh, astral bomb on me. See what I do. Try to hit the mobs with it for some extra damage. Trying to help the healer out with explosives here, of course. This Shadow Priest root thing is quite nice as well. It's something I never really played with a lot of Shadow Priests because they were kind of extinct until this patch when they got buffed. The root is like really like low key OP in a way. Like I swear the mobs are just rooted for the entire pull. Pretty crazy, it's pretty crazy. 5 minutes on the timer, 1 boss to go, 2 mobs, almost dead. Should be really easy on timer as long as we don't wipe on this boss. I mean, surely we don't wipe, right guys? Right. Thundering timing here kinda sucks, but we get some value here regardless with the Grief Torch. Send the Grief Torch in.
3.
No one died to the first breath of the fight, that's always a good sign. Here as a rogue you can immune the vacuum. You'll still get a stack after, but if you also clean your stacks with cloak. So basically you trade the cleaning for 1 extra, or just you get 1 stack. Oh, breath coming! Oh, no one died. Yeah, it just basically you can immune the mechanic, but you still get a stack. Oh, I got insta dispelled there. So if you're not exactly sure how this mechanic works on the boss, it's basically every mechanic the boss does gives you a stack. The stack gives you like a 5% damage increase, but it also
5,
removes it from you when you reach 3. And when you reach 3, you leave that little pool behind, as you saw happen to me. And ideally, if you can, it could have happened in that scenario where you get 2 stacks and you get the energy bomb, this one. You can already move out to the edge of the room before getting dispelled or whatnot by your healer, or just letting it expire is fine. And then you place like the little blue pool there at the absolute edge of the room to make it as easy as possible for a group. I think the Shadow Priest did a pretty good job there as well. He walked out with it to put it more towards the edge. It was a good job by him. Nice movement. I think I decided to hold my cooldowns here for the thundering lineup. I do indeed. Because they lined up pretty good. Hold them a little bit. Ooh! Unlucky. Got spell rushed on by the Demon Hunter on the Sec Tech. Not a big deal though. Not a big deal. Boss almost died. Should die. It's easy. Get a little cheek pot in there at the end, of course, because it came ready. I mean, yeah, that's it. That's it for this video. Yeah, I was positively surprised by this pug. I did not expect to time a 24 Academy with a full pug group just like that. Complete owners, all of them. I appreciate if you stuck through to the end, or if you didn't, maybe you skipped here to the end, and then welcome skippers. But yeah, that's it for this one. Remember to like the video, subscribe, maybe comment, ask me any questions you want, and have a good one!